This is by far the worst airport in Paris. Let me explain. I've flown into all three of Paris's airports, CDG, Orly, and Beauvais. Yet there's one airport that's much worse than the rest. And look, I'm being dramatic. The airport itself is fine. It's just so inconvenient compared to the other two. So before you go buying that cheap flight to Paris, let me share with y'all my experience at my now least favorite airport, Paris Beauvais.
It's 4 a.m. right now, and I'm heading to the train station to try to catch a taxi so I can go to the airport, because it's time to visit a new country. I'm excited.
This flight from Valencia to Paris only cost me 30 euros, but the reason it was so cheap was because it didn't actually land in Paris, but the small town of Beauvais. And the only real way to get to the city is by bus, which costs 18 euros one way, 36 round trip. Plus it takes an hour and a half to get to Paris, almost 2 in my case, and it drops you off in the outskirts of the city, meaning you then have to take the metro to get to your final destination. So what I thought was a 30 euro flight actually cost me 50, which I mean, it's not terrible for a one-way flight, but still, unless you find a flight that's really cheap. And don't forget, you have to include the additional 36 euro round trip bus just to get to Paris. In my opinion, Beauvais Airport isn't worth it. I'm definitely gonna try to avoid it because